Test 1 2, test 1 2. Can those behind hear me? Yeah. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, my friends, a very good morning to all of you. I'm Edward Lim from Starfish Learning Journey. I do not represent nor speak on behalf of any government agencies in Singapore, nor do I represent Singapore government. Okay. Basically, I'll be here talking rubbish with you today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever wondered what happens to the rubbish that we throw away every day? Before I begin, can I have a show of hands if any one of you stay in the eastern part of Singapore or the northeastern part of Singapore, near Lorong Halus? Very good, quite a few of you. Do you recall that there was once a landfill in Lorong Halus? None of you? Have you ever been to any landfill in Singapore or in the world? Okay, very good, very good. Now, I have been to Lorong Halus landfill before, once. And my friends, once is enough to last a lifetime, really. I recall in 1996, when I was serving my national service, on one fine day, an army officer came over to me and said, hey, can you help out to clear army camp waste to the landfill? And I was like, sure, why not? So I found myself, together with my army friends, in this big army truck with all the bags and bags of rubbish from our camp and heading towards this place called Lorong Halus landfill. When we reached the entrance of Lorong Halus landfill, the stench was amazing. We were like, wow, what died? So when the army truck entered Lorong Halus landfill, we saw hills and hills of rubbish. And that's not all. We also saw rats, crows, and of course, swarms and swarms of flies. So immediately, my army friends and we got ready to throw all the bags of rubbish into the landfill and try to get out as soon as we can. But we brought some souvenirs with us. Some of the flies got stuck on our perspiration. It was a totally unforgettable experience. So this is Lorong Halus last time, if you haven't seen it before. In 1999, on 31st of March, Lorong Halus landfill reached its tipping point, meaning that it has run out of space. So the government closed it and transformed it into a beautiful nature reserve. So I was told that it's a wildlife sanctuary and that there are more than 100 varieties of flora and fauna, together with, and also there were about more than 90 species of birds spotted at Lorong Halus Nature Reserve. Check this out. Now, these photos were not taken by me. Right? They are taken by all the various bird watchers in Singapore. Okay. So isn't it amazing how something so ugly can be transformed into something so beautiful? Right. So now that Lorong Halus dumping ground is no more, where do we throw our rubbish? Where do we bury our rubbish? Anyone knows? Now, as all of us know, Singapore is a very small island nation. We have got land constraint, which means not enough land space. So after Lorong Halus was closed, they couldn't find a space in mainland Singapore to build another landfill to replace it. So how? So we had to think out of the box and be creative. So ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you the world's first of its kind, Manmade Offshore Landfill. And no one claps. It's okay. All right. So basically, this landfill is found in the southern waters of Singapore. So this is actually the map of Singapore, okay, until here, which is pretty small. So as you can see here, this $610 million project, all right, is located in the southern part of Singapore. There is a 7-kilometer perimeter rock bund that surrounds two original small islands. So there is Pulau Semakau over here. In Mandarin, it's called Semakau Dao. And this one here is Pulau Saking. We call it Xijing Dao. And this 7-kilometer perimeter rock bund, 7公里围墙, surrounds these two islands to create a basin from the seabed. There are also layers of impermeable membranes laid onto this, as well as marine clay, to prevent the landfill from leaching. Okay. So, in the year 2005, the government decided to open the landfill to the public to visit. Naturally, the schools and the organizations, they're not very keen because they were worried and afraid that it will be smelly and dirty, just like Lorong Halus landfill or any other typical landfills in the world. So in 2008, Starfish Learning Journey was appointed by NEA to be the first managing agent to manage the visitor center at Semakau landfill. So to date, ladies and gentlemen, more than 50,000 people have visited this beautiful place. You can check this out. These are all the students, happy faces. Now, not only schools go there for educational visits, we have got nature groups like Wild Singapore and RMBR, which is the Raffles Marine Biodiversity Research, that conducts intertidal walks at Semakau landfill as well. And we even have couples going to landfill to take wedding photos. You can try that too if you want, huh? Any one of you getting married soon? Okay. So, some people ask me, when people come to Semakau landfill, the first thing they say is, wow, it's so beautiful. It looks like an island resort. And they ask, why isn't it smelly and dirty like other landfills? Well, do you know why? Okay, basically, the answer is today, when we throw rubbish, the rubbish is being burnt at the incineration plant. Okay? So, at the incineration plant, after the rubbish is being burnt, ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you, do you think this is the final step? Do you think this is the end of the whole cycle for the waste management system? Some people tell me, say, hey Edward, I thought that rubbish will be vaporized into thin air at the incineration plants. Now, how many of you think of this? Huh? Don't be shy. All right. Now, let me tell you, rubbish doesn't vaporize into thin air at the incineration plant. They get minimized but not vaporized. So these rubbish, after being burnt, they're transformed into ash. Okay? And all this ash will then be transported and buried at the landfill. So, every day, more than 1,500 tons of incineration ash is collected from our 4 incineration plants, in Singapore. 1,500 tons. 1 ton, I'm not talking about 1 ton, although I'm also a bit hungry. 1 ton is equivalent to about 1,000 kg. So 1,500 tons of ash is enough to fill 2 of these rooms. 2 of these rooms every day. That's the amount of ash collected from our incineration plants. That's a lot. And together with a few hundred tons of non-incinerable waste, all these will be sent to Tuas Marine Transfer Station, where they will then take a boat ride all the way to Semakau landfill to be buried there at the landfill cells forever and ever. So this is the incineration plant. They take a boat journey by a barge all the way to Semakau. Over here at Semakau, the ash is being dumped at the landfill. So this is how it looks like. So basically, Semakau contains 2 phases. Phase 1 is this site here, where there are 11 landfill cells. Phase 2 is over here, where there's 1 big landfill cell. So currently now we have used our phase 1 11 cells. And we have already embarked or started using phase 2, which is the larger cell, and is also the last cell on Semakau landfill. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to end my speech by giving you these 4 numbers. Now, these 4 numbers are not the lottery numbers that were open tonight, although I bought them already. So I hope I can. Anyway, 2035 is the year where most experts say will be the tipping point for Semakau landfill. 2035, that's just less than 20 years down the road. How old would you be? You don't have to tell me. Huh? How old would you be? Just imagine in your heart. How old would you be by 2035? And it's not too long, in the future. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned to you that we do not have space in mainland Singapore to build another landfill. So we had to build it out at the sea. And the thing is, we don't have many islands to use as landfills as well. So what will happen if Semakau landfill is totally filled up? Will this be our future if we have no more landfill space? Would you like our future to be like that? So ladies and gentlemen, today I hope that with 2035 as a deadline, knowing that we have less than 20 years to work towards it, I hope that we will start recycling and upcycling, as well as reducing waste to achieve the goal towards zero waste. I know it's tough. It's never easy. Some say it's impossible, but we must try. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we really have no time left. Thank you.